Hello everyone, welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making this gorgeous mosaic square. It is a bit similar to the Moroccan tile stitch, but just works differently, and it gives you a different effect on the back completely. It's a beautiful square to make, a lot more easier than it looks. So ideally you will need 2 colours for this, and then you will need some closed stitch markers or pieces of yarn or something to be able to save your loops with when you have to drop that loop down. Okay, so let's grab some yarn and a hook, maybe a cup of tea, and let's get started. Okay, so to start this square you want to chain 30, and then pop a stitch marker in the 4th chain from the hook. Okay, so your 4th chain down, pop a stitch marker in there. And when you have 30 chains and you'll mark it in the 4th chain, you are going to move down to the 10th chain and do a double crochet. So that's the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. And in that 10th chain you are going to do a double crochet. Okay, now this chain of 9 here counts as a chain 3 at the bottom, a double crochet at the side, and this stitch marker is in the top of what will be the double crochet, and a chain 3 at the top. Okay, and then you want to do a double crochet into the next chain along, chain 3, skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and do a double crochet into the 4th, and a double crochet in the one next to it. And you're going to do this along, chain 3, skip 3 chains, then do 2 double crochet, chain 3, skip 3, do 2 double crochets. And on your last chain 3 you will chain 3, skip 3 chains, and do a double crochet in your very last chain. Okay, so you should have 10 double crochets altogether, 1 here and then 8 along, and then this 1 at the start. So now you can see that what we've got here for this chain 9 kind of mirrors what we have here. Chain 3 at the top, chain 3 at the bottom, and a double crochet at the outside. Okay, so what you're going to do now, just drop that loop and put a stitch marker on there just to keep that secure. If you don't have a stitch marker, you could use a paper clip, a safety pin, a piece of yarn through there, anything just to keep that loop secure. Okay, or pull it up nice and big if you don't have anything to put in there. Okay, just be inventive if you don't have any actual stitch markers. Okay, so for row 2 we're going to get your 2nd colour, and while we're making this square you might hear me, rather than saying colour 1, colour 2, you might hear me refer to it as blue or yellow, so hopefully that won't confuse you too much and we'll all be okay. Okay, so what you want to do for row 2 is we're not going to turn our work, we are going to remove this stitch marker, remember which chain it is, and then you're going to join your new yarn in that chain. So I'm just going to join with a slip stitch there, and then I'm going to chain 3, and then in the 2nd chain down here, so if you look at this double crochet and then count 2 chains backwards, you're going to go into that 2nd chain and do a double crochet. Okay, and then you're going to do a chain 3 and another double crochet in that same chain. Okay, don't worry about this first colour that's just sort of dropping down as you work. That's absolutely fine. We will pick that one back up at the end of the row. So then what you're going to do is skip over to the next chain 3 in between these 2 sets of double crochets, and you're going to go into the middle chain, the second one in, and do a double crochet, chain 3, and the second double crochet. And you're going to do this all the way down. So you're going to go straight into the next one and do a wide V stitch, it's known as. So into the second one here, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, and then into this one, and then into your last one. And I will meet you when you've done those last 3. Okay, so you should have 5 of those wide V's. I've just taken my loop out there, and I'm going to pop a stitch marker on there to secure that loop. Okay, so the reason there's that title of row 3 is because you are going to need to rewind to that when you come to doing your repeats, okay? And you will see that I've got some markers along saying row 3, row 4, etc. Okay, so what you want to do now is turn your work over, and we're going to work in our first colour, in my yellow. I'm going to remove this stitch marker, and I'm just going to turn back slightly and do a chain 3. Just going to turn it back so I'm not getting tangled with that other colour. So we're going to do a chain 6. And we're going to mark that 4th chain from the hook, and we will come back to this a bit later on in the pattern. So mark your 4th chain from the hook, and then turn your work around, ready to start working. And what we're going to do is, this counts as a double crochet and then a chain 3 coming across. So what we're going to do is do a double crochet, so yarn over, and then if you look at this first double crochet of the yellow, we're going to go into there, and then if you look at the row behind this blue, we're going to go into this left side of the V. So we have a V here, we're going to go into this left double crochet, so into the top of that double crochet. So we're through both of those colours, then pull through and do your double crochet just as you usually would, and that stitch is now through both layers. So we're going to do that on the next double crochet, so yarn over ready into that yellow double crochet, and then into the right hand side of the next V. So into this double crochet here, into the top there, you're through both layers, pull through and complete your double crochet and chain 3. And then you're going to come across to your next set of 2 double crochets just here, and you're going to yarn over, ready for your double crochet, go into the top of the first double crochet, and then behind you're going to go into this double crochet here, the first one, and then do your stitch as usual, yarn over ready for the double crochet, go into your next stitch, and then behind you're going to go into the next double crochet, this right hand side of the V, going to the top of that stitch, so you're through both layers, and pull through and complete your double crochet. So you're going to do this all the way along in your next 2, so you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to do it in these 2 and these 2, and then I will meet you back to do this last one at the end. Okay, so I've done my last 2 double crochets here and my chain 3, and then what you want to do here is in this chain that is already marked from before, you want to go into there and then into the top of this last side of the V, and just ignore this chain 3 here, go into the top of that last double crochet, pull through and complete that stitch, just as you have done for the others. So just ignore that chain 3 at the end there, pull up your loop, and there you go. Once again, you should have those 10 double crochets, 1 at the start and 1 at the finish, and then 8 in the center. So pop a stitch marker on there and leave that for the next row. So we're going to move on to row 4. Just turn it over and show you. There we go. We're going to move on to row 4. Okay, so row 4 is with our second colour again. So you want to turn that over. Actually, it's on the right side already. So just double check where your loop is. It's just here. So we're okay. And we're just going to pull that loop out. I mean that stitch marker out, sorry. And bring our loop back onto our hook. And we're going to start with a chain 3. Now this colour, every time you do this colour, you will be doing your V stitches, your wide V, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. You'll always be doing those with this colour, and with your first colour, which is my yellow, you will always be doing those double crochets and chain 3s. Okay, that's the thing that makes it easier to remember what you're going to be doing. So we're back to doing our V stitches, our wide V's on this row. So we've chained 3, and now we've got it on the side that we need to. Now we're going to be working over this chain, so you might want to just fold it down a bit or just look over the top. And in the middle chain of this first chain 3 of the blue, or your second colour, you're going to go into that middle chain and do that wide V stitch. So double crochet, chain 3, and another double crochet. And that's all you're going to do on this row. Just move straight over to the next one, and in the middle chain do a double crochet, chain 3, and another double crochet. So do that for the next 3 wide V stitches, and once you finish your third one, you can just pull that hook out and pop your stitch marker back on. Okay, so 5 wide V stitches. I'm upside down there. 5 wide V stitches is all you're doing on that row there. Okay, nice and simple. So I'll pop my stitch marker back on, and it's time to go back to our first colour, back to my yellow. So I'm going to turn my work over and get ready to start row 5. Okay, so remove the stitch marker from your first colour, and then you are going to chain 6, and pop your stitch marker on that 4th chain. I know we still haven't used the 4th chain here yet, but we will do. We're just getting it all set up ready for when we get to that point. Okay, so turn your work round, and we're going to do the same as we did down here when we worked through our stitches. Last time we went through the yellow first and then into the blue, but this time we've got the blue facing us, so we're going to go into our blue first. So yarn over for the double crochet, come across to your left hand side of this first V, so we miss this side and we go into the second double crochet of that V, go into the top of that double crochet there at the top of the V, and then look at the row behind, and you're going to go into that first double crochet of your yellow or your first colour, and then complete your stitch. Yarn over and go into your second double crochet there, and then look behind and go into your second double crochet of the row behind, and complete your stitch. Just like so. That's now into those 2 double crochets, and if I turn it around, it's into those yellows all the way down there. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way along. We're going to chain 3, and I'll show you that once more. I'm going to go, just get my other yarn out of the way. Okay, so going to go into, do a yarn over, go into that next double crochet of the blue, and then look at the row behind and go into that first double crochet of the 2, and then pull through both layers and complete your stitch. Yarn over for a double crochet, go into that next double crochet of the blue, and look behind and go into the second double crochet of those 2, pull through both layers and complete your stitch, and chain 3. So do that on the next 2 sets of stitches, and I will join you to do this end stitch. Okay, so I've worked along and now I've just got this last one to do. So I've chained 3, and then here you want to go into the top of this last double crochet of the V. Ignore this chain 3 at the end, go into the top of that V, and then this is where our marked chain is useful. Go into that marked chain on the colour behind, and then you're going to complete your double crochet through both layers. So yarn over, pull through, and then complete your double crochet. And you can pull up this loop, remove this stitch marker, and you can pop that on your loop. And there we go, that's row 5. So we've got those double crochets ready there, and on the other side, there we go. Okay, row 6. Okay, row 6 is actually the same as row 4 in our second colour, my blue, where we did these 5 V stitches. Okay, so I'm going to get you started on that once more. So take out your stitch marker, pick up that colour, and I'm just going to chain 3. Okay, and then now this time we've got these chains facing us. Do you remember last time we had to work this way around and fold this down? This time it's facing us, so it's the same, but we've just got those chains facing us this time as this work turns around. So you're going to yarn over and go into that second chain of your chain 3 and do your wide V stitch. So it can sometimes be a bit fiddly getting into those chains, so go into that chain, do a double crochet, chain 3, and a second, oops, double crochet into that same chain if you can get your hook in there. There we go. Okay, so that's all it is on this row. So continue along, do your next 4 the wide V stitches in those second chains, and then pull up your loop and pop your stitch marker back on. And there we go, I've got my 5 V stitches, or wide V stitches, and I'm ready for row 7, which is where we're going to start our repeat. You're going to repeat rows 3, 4, 5 and 6, and you're going to repeat them 3 times. So you're going to do 3, 4, 5 and 6, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then you're just going to do row 3 and 4 again. And that's why I've put those row numbers at the start of each section. And I will hopefully, I can't guarantee, but hopefully I'll put the times for the start of those rounds. I'll put them in the description below. That might be a bit more helpful for you as well. I can't guarantee it because this is the second time I've recorded this video. This one here that I showed you at the beginning, I recorded this just a few hours ago and couldn't get it to edit properly or upload. So I'm recording again, so I can't guarantee anything that's going to happen today, really. Just hoping that this one will edit and upload correctly. So I think you'll agree with me, this is looking pretty groovy already. And at this rate, you're probably going to want to do two. One to have this side showing and one to have this side showing. This is great. So I'm going to put on the screen now, hopefully there will be a piece on the screen that says what you need to do. And it might be worthwhile just getting a piece of paper and writing down what I put on screen. So 3 4 5 6 3 4 5 6 3 4 5 6 3 4. It might be worth just copying that down to a piece of paper so that once you've done a row you can rewind back to that row and then you can tick it off, and then you can do the next row, tick it off, and then you'll know where you are. And once you've done all of those rows, it will be time to do two more finishing off rows, just to square this off and join this, because when you finish it will be like this, and we just need to join these two layers together to finish. So I'll leave you to do all of those rows, and which they don't actually take very long. I'll leave you to do those, and then once you finish those, continue to play the video, and I will do the last couple of rows with you. Okay, so you should have quite a nice looking square now. I've still got just my little swatch. I don't really have time to record the whole thing again, or to make the whole thing again, and I have that other square that I've shown you. So I'm just going to work from here and show you how we finish off this top row. So I've just taken the stitch marker off of my second colour, which is the last row you will have worked on, and I've just fastened off my colour there. Okay, and then I'm going to move to my colour A, my yellow, remove that stitch marker and chain one. We're going to be doing a single crochet row now, just to join these pieces together and to make a nice row for doing our border. Okay, so chain one, and then through this stitch here and the one behind, we're going to do a single crochet. So go into the first one, and then just as we did for our double crochets, go into that last stitch of the previous colour and pull through and do your single crochet. And then over the two colours, you're going to do 3 single crochets over these chains. 3 single crochets over those chains. Okay, and then you're going to do these next 2 stitches in exactly the same way as you did before, but with single crochet. So into the first double crochet, and then into the double crochet behind, and finish your single crochet. Single crochet into the next, and into the double crochet behind, and pull through and do that single crochet, and then 3 single crochet around these chains, joining those 2 pieces of yarn together. Okay, and then you're going to do your double crochets the same here. 3 in the chain space, then your double crochets, 3 in the chain space, double crochets, 3 in the chain space, and I will join you to do this very last stitch. Okay, so I've done my I'm just finishing my last single crochet in that chain space. And then what you're going to do is, where this stitch marker is at the top of your on your 4th chain, you're going to remove that. Just make sure you know which chain it is, and then go into that chain, and then go into your last double crochet behind. Ignore this chain 3 and just do your single crochet, and that is your last single crochet. So this is what your top will look like, and from the other side. Okay, and then what you're going to do is a border. So the way for doing the border is 3 half double crochets in the corners. So you chain 2 as your first half double crochet, and then do 2 more half double crochets in this corner, and then you want to do 25 half double crochets down your side. Okay, 25 half double crochets down your side. So what you'll do is it's kind of works that you've got 10 sections. So I find if you do 2 and then 3, 2 then 3, 2 then 3, that works as 25. Okay, so do that all the way down the side, and then when you get to your corner you will do another 3 half double crochets, and then work along the bottom and do again an equal 25 along the bottom, 3 half double crochet in your corner, and then 25 up the side, 3 in the corner, and then 1 into each stitch along the top, and then just slip stitch into your top chain here to finish off. And then if you need any extra sizing, you can just add rounds as you need to, single crochets, half double crochets, whatever you might need to add. And that is the end of that square. So I'm going to bring this one back in and show you how it will look when you've finished. I've just realised that when I finish this last row with you, you actually will have had your work on the other side, because this row will have been done on the right side and I had it on the wrong side, so it will have been slightly different for you, but hopefully you were able to follow along there. And so yours will look neater than this, because actually it will be like this. Okay, so I'm sure some of you actually will prefer this side as the front rather than this. Anyway, I hope you found this useful and helpful, and you've enjoyed crocheting along with me, and I'm hoping that this is going to edit now, and if you're seeing this, then you know it has edited and uploaded. So I've enjoyed making that square with you, and I hope you've enjoyed making it along today. If you have, and you found this useful and helpful, then please click that like button, give us a thumbs up, and we really do appreciate it when you click that button. And I can't wait to see photos of your squares in the Facebook group, and there's a link down there as well. And don't forget, hopefully down there also will be the timings of well, certainly for row 3, of where to find that for doing your repeats. So until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.